Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, I've got more video footage to share with you guys of this mysterious white stuff that's falling from the sky out here in Arizona. I used the overhang of the house earlier this morning as a shield, and I was able to film the sky, and you can see this stuff that literally looks like snow coming down from very high up in the sky. I think I may have figured out what this stuff is. We'll come back and take a look at that video footage here in just a moment. Also, a quick update on the balloon. You can see it's kind of moved south of my location a few miles. It's out of my line of sight, but it's still out there. The same balloon that's been up there now for 3 days, and then there's one over here to the east of Globe, Arizona, out here above the forest. It's been out here for also 3 days, and you can see the flight path this balloon has taken. It's been traveling now for about 72 hours like this one here. Even though the flight path, this is just the last few hours. This balloon started out up here in my neck of the woods. I was actually able to see it for 2 days. Again, right now it's just out of my field of view, but there's been quite a bit of activity around this balloon today that I want to share with you guys, and we'll come back and take a look at this here in just a moment. But first, over here at the homepage of the website, today's feature photo was sent in by Brian out of Winter Park, Colorado, of a fiery orange sky. Incredible photo here out of Colorado. Checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center, you can see yet another M-class solar flare at about the same time we saw one yesterday. So we're seeing M-class solar flares on what looks like about a 24-hour cycle. Checking in on the planetary K-index, quiet for the time being. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, you can see the sunspots are starting to accumulate. We're seeing more active regions. We've got a new one down here in the southeastern quadrant of the sun that's turning towards the Earth. These active regions you see right here are directly facing Earth right now as I do this video. So any solar activity coming from those active regions and large sunspots would definitely be Earth-directed. Looking at the power outage situation over here at poweroutage.us, for some reason there's almost 12,000 customers in Florida without electricity right now as I do this video. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. Dark blue represents magma intrusion, and you can see it's kind of scattered around the supervolcano caldera. Not a whole lot of earthquake activity, so all in all, pretty quiet at the supervolcano. And in case you guys hadn't heard, there was a large explosion less than 24 hours ago in the Texas Panhandle, right here in a community called Dimmitt, Texas. That would be right here north of Lubbock, Texas, north and slightly west. Last night around 7:20 p.m., a dairy factory in the Texas Panhandle was rocked by an explosion, causing a massive fire which engulfed the building. According to local officials, several people were injured. The incident happened around 7:20 p.m. on Monday at the South Fork Dairy. Doesn't talk about any details or specifics behind this large explosion. Here is a video as it was occurring that was also in the article that you can find linked down below in the description box. That is absolutely huge. That is a dairy factory in the Texas Panhandle. Once again, this occurred yesterday on April the 10th at around 7:20 p.m. in Dimmitt, Texas. Look at the size of that cloud. That is absolutely gigantic. Once again, a dairy factory right there, the South Fork Dairy, north of Lubbock, Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. And for reasons unknown, a very large explosion appears to have consumed the entire dairy in Dimmitt, Texas. I want to take you guys now back out here to the skies of Arizona. And again, this is what I did. I used the overhang of the house to kind of block out the direct sunlight. And you can already see from this still image here, this white stuff that literally looked like snow falling from the sky was coming down in just boatloads at times, and you could look up as high as you could see, and this stuff appeared to be many miles up in the sky, which told me some of this stuff must have been pretty good size or it wouldn't even have been visible. See it over here kind of floating around in all different directions. It was up as far as you could see. The sky was just totally full of this stuff. But here's the thing, none of it was landing on the ground. That's video number one. I have a couple of more videos I want to share with you guys. One of them shows a larger one moving across the field of view. I couldn't see it because I was trying to stay back behind the overhang, but one came across the sky this direction. And it too must have been pretty good size because it showed up like a white orb almost. You can see the other ones here kind of flickering around in the direct sunlight. Those are those particles that we were seeing. Noticed them yesterday, and they're still there again today. Just nonstop, just constant white stuff just falling from the sky. But what's strange about this stuff, it's not accumulating on the ground. And I haven't even been able to find one on the ground. And I have looked, but the sky is loaded with these white particles. Again, some big and some small. I thought this was the video here that showed one kind of cruising through the sky. It looks literally like a white orb. It's going across the sky horizontally, but this stuff was up in the sky as far as you could see. It looked like it was up many, many miles, and it looks like it's snowing right there, doesn't it? Looks like snow flurries, and this is in Arizona. There goes a larger white one right there. There comes some bigger ones here. That was glowing in the bright sunlight in the daytime sky, and this was around 10 o'clock in the morning, and there were no clouds anywhere in any direction, clear blue skies, and this white stuff was perpetually falling from the sky. I think this is the one here. You're going to see one cruise across the screen from right to left. Look at all that stuff. And it looked like a white orb in the daytime sky. And if you would have looked up and saw it, that's what you probably would have thought you were seeing. But I think I may have figured out, with the help of you guys and all your comments yesterday in yesterday's video, what this stuff may very well be. I've never seen it to this scale before. There is an excessive amount of this stuff, and I don't recall ever seeing this much. I know we're all familiar with pollen season and things like that, and there's different types of pollen that fill the skies. Here comes that white one right there. See it? Doesn't that look like a white orb cruising through the sky? That's one of these things here that's a bigger one. That's what I'm saying. There were some big and there were some small, and then all shapes and sizes in between. And I think what this stuff might be, it's originating from a cottonwood tree or cottonwood trees that are filling the forests around here off to the east. And this is what the skies look like. They don't look quite this dramatic where I'm at. I suppose if you were close to a forest full of cottonwood trees, it might look like that. But no joke, at times, if you looked way up in the sky was filled like this right here. The camera could not pick up all of the ones that we were seeing from the ground. But honestly, the sky looked like that at times. And right now, the sky looks like a version of that. Not quite as intense, but apparently during the spring, when the temperatures start to warm up, these cottonwood trees shed this stuff known as cottonwood fluff, and it can fill the skies, it can travel for miles, and I believe that's what we're seeing out here in Arizona. It's known as cottonwood fluff, and it is a seasonal thing. It lasts for a couple of weeks, but I don't remember it being quite this intense as we're seeing this year. Honestly, it looks like it is snowing at times when you go outside and look up in the sky. But what's weird, it's not accumulating on the ground, at least here in our location. But I did read in some locations, if you're close enough to the trees, this stuff will accumulate on the ground, looking like patches of snow here and there in the spring and summer. It's called cottonwood fluff. So I think that's what we're seeing out here in the skies above Arizona. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on the balloon. Here's the balloon. It's still out there. It's been out there now for its third day. That was a Hercules C-130 that just flew past the plane. There was a Hercules C-130 earlier circling around the balloon for quite some time. This one up here is kind of off by itself, and this is the same location it's been, or the same general location, for 3 days. And here's the path that this thing has taken over the last 72 hours. This one down here, this is the one that I've been observing from up here in southeast Phoenix. It's drifted south down towards Eloy, and that's where it's at right now, between Tucson and Phoenix. It's a little bit out of my field of view. I can't see it right now. I have been looking, but this is where it's at. And there's also been quite a few airplanes and some helicopters that have gone up close to this balloon, and this is from yesterday when it was up here in our area. That's an airplane that was making laps not only around that balloon, but this one over here. And this balloon over here almost looks like it's got a no-fly zone, at least in this immediate area. I haven't been seeing planes fly anywhere near that balloon except for this one right here. That's the closest one I've seen. in quite some time. But see this area, how it's opened up? I normally see airplane traffic through there all the time, but not today for some reason. Want to show you guys some other still images that I took of the balloon down here near Eloy. This is the C-130 Hercules that just flew right by the balloon about 30 minutes ago. I've got more still images I want to share with you guys. Here's another one. This airplane here departed from up here in the southeast Phoenix area. It flew down, passed underneath the balloon, then turned around and went right back up towards the balloon. And there were no details on that aircraft. It just flew in the proximity of the balloon. And here's another observation that I made, something else that was circling near the balloon. There's the balloon, and you can see this chopper right here was circling near the balloon for the better part of about 90 minutes earlier this morning. That and some airplanes that were flying down close to the balloon. Here's another airplane. Wasn't necessarily near this balloon here, but it flew in between these two balloons, and it could have been just a random coincidence as the airplane was flying to another location. But that was yet another one that I noticed kind of in the general area. And here's a close-up view of that helicopter that I just showed you guys as it was circling close to the balloon. That's probably within less than a quarter of a mile of the balloon. And here's another screen grab I took of the balloon. This was yet of another chopper that was in the vicinity of the balloon earlier this morning. There was a lot of activity down there around that balloon. This one over here was kind of off by itself. It was this balloon here that had multiple helicopters and multiple airplanes fly in the vicinity of that balloon for unknown reasons. But the two balloons are still in the sky. This is day number 3 that they're in the sky above southern Arizona, and I don't think they're anything nefarious at all. They're just balloons, even though they don't say what specific type of balloon or who's operating the balloons. A lot of times they will. I've seen many balloons on here. These aren't the first balloons that I've seen, and a lot of times it will say over here a very specific type of balloon and who's operating the balloon. This balloon is very vague. The HBAL is standard for helium balloons. That is just a standard helium balloon signature, but it doesn't show us anything else over here. It shows the country of origin, which is the U.S., and that is it. So everything else is just kind of open to interpretation. I appreciate all you guys' comments yesterday. Some people commented that they thought this was part of the Loon Project. And from what I understand, the Loon Project retired back in 2021. So the Loon Project was to see about maybe offering high-speed internet to remote locations of the world. And I remember the Loon Project when it started, and it started out down above Ecuador. I remember when I first saw the fleet of balloons, they were hanging around right down here above Ecuador, and they were there for probably 2 weeks, drifting across South America, and then they went over to Africa, and it was kind of interesting to watch as they were cruising around the globe to various locations. I think the fleet was somewhere around 12, maybe 16 balloons I remember seeing at one time, and then the program, from what I understand, did retire back in 2021. So I don't believe that these are part of the Loon program, because if they were, it would say over here, Loon Project, like all the balloons did. They had a specific number, and they were part of the Loon Project. It wasn't a mystery. These are a bit mysterious. Are they nefarious? I don't think so. But they are a little bit mysterious, yes, and they've been there now for 3 straight days. Thanks for the photos, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. And if you guys have any videos you'd like to share that are too large to attach to the email, come over here to the homepage of the website, look for this red tab that says Have a Large Video. Simply click on the red tab, drag and drop your video into the red banner. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.